And the spending freeze continues. The good news is, though, I've had a couple of cool spending freeze wins. So today is my daughter's birthday, and so I was a little bit nervous about that because I was like, I don't know what to get her. We obviously don't want to be like spending a bunch of money. We obviously have this little freeze in place, and so I just went over to the thrift store just to see what I could find, and I found something pretty cool actually. This little friendship bracelet book. It's got all these different designs, you know, and then the directions on how you can make them all, and so it's pretty cool. This book is in pretty good shape. It has some, you know, coloring here and whatnot, but otherwise it's in pretty good shape. It was 99 cents at the ARC. However, it was half off on white tags, so I got this for something like 52 cents, 53 cents, something like that. So I was excited about that, especially since I had absolutely no direction on what I was going to get her. So once I found this, I was like, hey, maybe I could go over to the dollar store and maybe I could find some string or something to go along with it so that she doesn't just have the book. She has some materials to be able to make the bracelets with. So while I was at the dollar store, I picked up a couple of those with some different colors. That's going to be nice. I think she's going to like this. She really loves cats, and she really loves like busy work, you know, things to color and different things like that. So I also got her this puzzle, this Lisa Frank puzzle, and it's got a cat on it, so I think she'll like this a lot. Yeah, she likes puzzles anyway. And then this little color your own poster again. It has a cat on it, so more busy work, more cat stuff. And then in the basement, I just grabbed this out of my basement because I save this kind of stuff for whenever I am going to be, you know, giving gifts or whatnot, and then I don't have to buy stuff as often. So, let's see. Oh, 50 cents for this, and then 4 items from the dollar store, so $4 here, and then 50 cents. It was less than $5 with tax and everything, so I really feel like that was a pretty good frugal win. And then the second thing that was my frugal win for the day was I was at the chiropractor earlier, which I go to fairly regularly, and I have a chiropractor who is actually very affordable. He charges either $30 a visit or $80 for an unlimited per month. He charges $80 a month. I usually go twice a week. But I asked him, you know, I told him my situation, you know, the reason why and everything else. And so he was, you know, sympathetic to us and was like, hey, you know, okay, you know, I'm willing to work with you or whatever. And so I made an offer. I said, what if you see me once a week for $40, which is still the same price for me, but according to his pricing schedule, even if you see him once a week, it's still that $80 because it's just like I said, $30 a visit or $80 for the unlimited thing. But he was willing to do it. And then, so I was like, cool, you know, once a week, $40, that'll be great. And then later on, he said, hey, you know, actually, if you want to keep going twice a week, maybe you'd be willing to teach me some little YouTube things. And so we have decided that we're going to do that. He's going to still see me twice a week. He's still going to do it for the $40, but my second time in the week, a day when I have more time, he is actually going to be seeing me for appointment, you know, regular appointment, and then after that, I'm going to show him some YouTube stuff, how this whole, you know, uploading videos and how to edit them and just different stuff like that, because he wants to start a YouTube channel, which I think is great. I totally support that, so I'm going to try and help him in any way I can, especially since he's going to continue helping me. So, frugal win for sure. Chiropractor for half price, and my $5 birthday gift for my daughter. I just made her a chocolate cake with some chocolate frosting, all with ingredients we have around, and so nothing more to cost us any more money. And yet this is really something she enjoys. She really likes chocolate, she really likes cake, so it'll just make her birthday a little extra special, especially since we don't normally eat cake. Happy birthday, kiddo!
Thank you.
Got a gift for you. Do you like it?
Yes. I like this.
Do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like puzzles?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a friendship bracelet book.
Mm-hmm. With stuff to make friendship bracelets with. Do you like it?
Yes.
Look who was excited to get started coloring.
she let me use one of them.
She did. Wasn't that nice of her? Thank you for being a good girl.
You're welcome.
You appreciate what we give you, and you were very nice in giving that one to your sister. Okay, open them. It's a chocolate smile cake. What do you think?
I like it.
You don't get the whole thing, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Let's try it and see if we like the taste.
Alright.
Is that goofy?
Yes.
This is a smile face. What do you think of it?
I love it.
You?
It's delicious.
Nice.
Great.
You could still have a happy birthday even though you're on a spending freeze, huh? Or you could still have a happy birthday even though your parents are on a spending freeze, huh?
Yes.
Sorry friends, I should have probably given a no makeup warning, but anyway, I was just getting ready just now and I know that my mascara is kind of dried out, but with the spending freeze we of course can't be buying anything that's non-essentials and makeup is not an essential. So one thing I have found is that if you take eye drops, it's important to use eye drops because they're sterile. You can't use tap water because it'll mold, but you just go ahead and put a couple of drops in there, and after a little while, once it absorbs into the tube, it will make a dried out mascara work again, and you can prolong how long your makeup lasts. So hopefully this is a tip that's helpful to you. It's helped me a lot in the past, not just when I'm on a spending freeze. So today we have a whole bunch of, I have a whole bunch of stuff I need to make because we ended up with a whole bunch of peaches from my dad's tree. He actually has the same variety of peach tree that I have, but he doesn't water his peach tree like I do, so they don't really get ripe until way later. And then the other thing about it is they kind of turn out rubbery and tasteless, so, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I would highly recommend watering your trees if you can. But anyway, so I had a whole bunch of those I need to use up, and so I've been busy making things this morning. Made a whole bunch of peach muffins, so that's a double batch on that. I made a peach pie. It is actually my husband's birthday today, so I actually used his grandmother's recipe. She since passed away a long time ago, but anyway, I got this recipe from his aunt, and yeah, I made that for him. And then we made a bunch of bagels, which I am terrible bad at making yeast breads, but it's just one of those things that even though I suck at, I just do it anyways. I made the bagels to use up some cream cheese, which we have left over of, and then of course, like I said, we had all these peaches that we need to use up, so that's what I did that for. And I'm not even done yet. We still got another batch of peach. I think I'm going to make bread because tonight we have a potluck to go to, and so I need to have something to bring, and we still have more peaches, so oh well. Hey, how was the pie birthday, boy? In words?
It's delicious.
So my husband is at the dentist right now. He woke up and felt something crunchy in his mouth and then looked and there was a big white blob of something. And he's like, oh no, is this my tooth? And sure enough, it was. He had broken a piece of his tooth somehow when he was sleeping, probably grinding his teeth, which I've heard a lot of people do. But anyway, so he made an appointment and went to the dentist. And we don't know, of course, I don't know yet, he might probably by now, whether it's just something simple like, okay, well, we'll just fix the, filling, or if it's something more serious that'll, of course, cost more money, something like, a crown or something like that. But I'm kind of nervous about it because this is the worst possible time this sort of thing could have happened. Of course, we haven't been to the dentist in years or with any issues or anything like that, and so this kind of happened quite out of nowhere, and of course on week 2 of our spending freeze. So I guess we'll see. That alone could undo all of the hard work we've done all week, and maybe even set us back even further to where it's, not only a savings this week, but, a negative for this week and next week. So we'll see. I will let you know. Alright friends, spending freeze week 2 recap. So, early on in the week, of course, I haggled my chiropractor. We had our daughter's birthday, which was very frugal, my husband's birthday, and then my husband's tooth broke and all that. So, all in all, how did we fare? Okay, so let's go to the tooth thing because that was probably the biggest one. We were obviously pretty worried about it. We weren't sure how much that was going to cost, what it was going to entail to fix it, and that sort of thing. But when he came home, we discussed the options, and he chose the option that was going to be, I think, $48. So that it could have been a whole lot worse than that. That wasn't really worth all of the stressing that I did. All in all, with all of the money that we were able to save with our groceries this week, which we actually needed more than we needed last week because we really don't stock a whole lot of extra food. We only buy the food that we really need anyway, and I try to be constantly using our pantry stuff anyway, so we, after just 1 week, it was like scraping bottom to where it's like, okay, what am I gonna find to work with for meals this week? We have a bag of white rice that I got from my neighbor across the street who moved, a big old bag of brown rice, again from my neighbor across the street, and then a bag of black beans. Other than beans and rice every day, I don't know what else to make with that. So we had to, you know, do a little more grocery shopping than we did the week before. And then with the birthdays and whatnot, we were able to do that fairly frugally, so that was good. So we ended up about $45 ahead. The $48 that he'll have to pay actually puts us a little bit behind, but still, I'm still gonna call that a win, because with all the extra stuff we had come up in that week, in this 1 week, to just not even to like be ahead would probably be an unrealistic goal. That's of course what I was hoping for, but the fact that we were able to just, you know, keep our ground and not move backwards was a huge win in my mind. So we had a big win last week. This week was more of, you know, a break even, but again, with all this extra stuff, I'm still happy with the way it turned out. And, you know, of course, there were some good life lessons learned along the way. Worrying about things is completely useless, and I know that, but we still do it anyway. So before we know how much it's going to cost and whatnot, we're like all worried. How is this going to do? Is it going to be expensive? What are, you know, could end up making it to where even if we, you know, save a ton through the spending freeze throughout the whole rest of the month, the whole thing ends up a wash, and so it just feels like all of this is done for nothing and just whatever. I would, you know, just a typical worried nervousness. But you know what? Worrying about it doesn't change a thing. It doesn't really affect, you know, the situation or how much it's going to cost or anything, because the damage has already been done. All it does is make us stressed out, and it makes us lose our peace and our happiness in the moment when we're stressing. So this is a life lesson that life has been trying to teach me for a very long time, and yet time and time again this one comes up and I keep failing it. So maybe one of these days it'll just get drilled into my thick head. Why, you know, be scared? Why be nervous and stress out over stuff you really can't control anyway? Just sit back and, you know, whatever happens is going to happen. Even if it is expensive, we'll find a way to deal with it. It's gonna be fine. So that's what I'm gonna keep in mind going into the next week. We're gonna keep trying. Hopefully we'll have another big win next week, because hopefully next week will be a cakewalk, right? We'll see. Probably wishful thinking, but hey, I'm gonna stay positive, because there's really no use in being down about it, because what is that gonna do, right? So there you go. Week 2, spending freeze, a wash, but a win.